Kobe Bryant had one of the greatest NBA careers of all time.
The Lakers are NBA champions once again.
While his rival from the same 1996 draft class, Allen Iverson, could match his talents, but would ultimately experience a far different outcome in his career.
I'm just not a champion. You know what I mean? I'm not. We came up short.
But what if they swapped circumstances and Iverson teamed up with guys like Shaquille O'Neal, or further down the line with Pau Gasol? Would he be able to emulate the same success in Kobe's shoes? Or could the Mamba take AI's career as he goes from multiple different teams and rewrite NBA history as we know it, accomplishing the one thing Iverson never did, winning an NBA championship? Well, it all starts in the 1996-97 season, where both stars are drafted, and we already have our first major change. Kobe was given the full reins of Philadelphia from day one, with a total green light to score as he sees fit, landing the season's Rookie of the Year, which would be a stark difference to AI, who would be getting limited minutes off the bench in year one. But it wasn't all bad news for the 18-year-old Iverson, who was averaging nearly 16 points a night off the bench, because he undoubtedly had the better situation early, finding himself in the Western Conference Finals as only a rookie, mostly thanks to being teamed up with Shaq. And despite them losing to Hakeem's Rockets after a quick 5-game series, it was safe to say that AI was establishing the foundation for a dynasty in LA with the Diesel, which would be a night and day comparison to Bryant, who was far from any success in season one. Something that would become a trend early on, after another strong personal season for Bryant, surprisingly making the playoffs, to then only be completely crushed in the first round by the Chicago Bulls, while simultaneously Iverson out west was continuing to flourish with Shaq as they build their chemistry together, making a deep playoff run before unfortunately falling to another veteran West team, the Predator and the Jazz, who would seem to be the Lakers' kryptonite, not only defeating them in 98, but also in 99, putting an end to Iverson's third year. Although while they failed here, it was obvious that the Lakers' time was coming soon enough. But before we get to that, the 98-99 season still had a significant storyline, that being Kobe Bryant and his breakout season, in a reality where he joined the league at 21, already significantly more developed in year 3, and he was taking the NBA by storm, not just stunning everyone with a 54-win season, but capping off the year with a substantial accomplishment of his own. A near 30-point MVP for Kobe Bryant, 2 years quicker than Iverson got one in real life, and I'm starting to become a believer that Kobe could shake things up a little bit in AI's shoes. Starting with this year's playoffs, where Bryant was finally winning his first playoff series against the Hawks, and then as heavy underdogs in the second round, Kobe was scoring over 30 a night against the Miami Heat, leading the way for the upset win to make it to his first conference finals appearance, which would be where his Cinderella run comes to an end against the Knicks. But needless to say, with Kobe developing so quickly, this career swap could be more interesting than anticipated.
Basketball's biggest stage, the NBA Finals. It begins here. We'll see the Philadelphia 76ers against the Los Angeles Lakers.
In just year 4, AI and Shaq got over the hump, breaking through to the finals. But certainly more shocking was Kobe Bryant dragging his Sixers to the pinnacle. Just a few days ago, he was dueling with Reggie Miller in a Game 7, where Kobe's outstanding play resulted in a 49-point outburst to close out the conference finals. And he was picking up right where he left off. In the finals, it was clear that the battle of the guards was leaning in the favor of Philly, with Bryant easily outclassing Iverson one-on-one. However, it would be AI with the last laugh, because while he'd be getting one-upped in the first of many playoff duels in this rivalry with Bryant, this championship series was far different than the conference finals. LA had this year's MVP, and the Sixers had absolutely no answer at all for the Diesel, as the Lakers go on to win the finals in only 5 games, landing Iverson his first ring in this simulation, proving he could find success if given the proper supporting cast. Meaning Iverson takes a 1 championship lead over Bryant, with an opportunity for many more down the line. And now it was only a matter of finding out if Kobe had what it takes to do the same. But in the meantime, our story is still focused on the Lakers, just as the whole world focuses on the brightest duo in sports. Iverson was blossoming into a full-fledged star, coming a long way since spending his first 2 seasons coming off the bench, with him cracking the 25-point mark even while sharing his looks with O'Neal. So as anticipated, LA would land the top seed in the West again, running through the playoffs without issue as they prepare to defend their title against whoever dares challenge them from the East. And who else would it be other than the Sixers, led by Kobe Bryant, having his best season of his career to land his second MVP, all fueled by the desire to taste revenge after falling in the finals the season prior, which soon enough, as the 2001 finals prepared to tip off, he'd have the chance to do exactly that. It's the holiday season, so what better time to treat yourself to something nice? And thanks to today's sponsor, DraftKings Pick6, you can do just that. Cause when new DraftKings customers play $5 or more, they'll get $50 in Pick6 credits. All you have to do is click the link in the description below or the pinned comment and use my code Allen, and you'll be enjoying Pick6 this holiday season. Which for any ball lovers, you can't ask for much more. You simply predict whether players will get more or less on a certain stat for a chances of big payouts. And what stands out with Pick6 is you can ride the upside, where instead of playing against the house, you're competing against other players. And when your picks turn purple, your payout leveled up, meaning you have the chance for huge payout multipliers if you beat the competition. So again, sign up with my code Allen and play $5 or more, and you're gonna get $50 in Pick6 credits so that you can start enjoying Pick6 today. Because I know personally, I cannot wait for the Christmas Day NBA games. I'm going to be having a blast on Pick6, and I really hope you are too. Once again, shout out to DraftKings Pick6 for sponsoring today's video. Go check them out right now. But now let's get back to seeing if Kobe can get his revenge. And he wouldn't hesitate for a moment in this rematch, averaging a blistering hot near 40 points per night throughout this final series, making a mockery of the alleged battle between him and Iverson, who granted was still playing great himself, scoring efficiently despite the exceptional defense from Bryant. But the question was, did any of that matter? It was still the same 340-pound problem from last year's finals, Shaquille O'Neal wreaking havoc for LA. Except this season, Philly added in a solution, bringing in Dikembe Mutombo. Of course, Shaq would still get his. He's one of the most dominant players of all time. But what Mutombo could do was slow him down as much as possible, giving Bryant just enough opportunity to outscore LA's terrifying duo, pushing this series to a stalemate after 4 games. Which from here, it was anyone's series for the taking, as Iverson responds with a big Game 5 to bring the advantage back to the West, only for Bryant to respond in the midst of elimination, forcing this series to distance to boil down to 48 more minutes of basketball.
Welcome, everyone, to NBA Finals Game 7. The air is thick with excitement and anticipation. Winner take all. The biggest stars have aligned on the biggest night in basketball. A season of joy and pain will end here tonight.
And there should be no surprise that just as the series has been closed, this final game would be too. Can Iverson and LA hang on in pursuit of a dynasty? Or will Kobe and the Sixers rewrite history as we know it? Game 7 of the NBA Finals, all knotted up. The mom and the answer have been dueling to the very end, and it continues here. Kobe, the spin move, draws the foul and the basket! An and one for Kobe Bryant! That tie did not last for long. What a sensational finish from Kobe beating Bryant. Allen Iverson, his pull-up J. He sinks a big shot to get him back within 1. Both of these stars are going at one another. The Sixers take a timeout as they look to regroup after Iverson's huge basket, still up by 1 with just over a minute left in this game. Allen Iverson with the steal. Kobe Bryant just straight up loses the basketball. AI driving it in, the step back. He gets to Kobe jumping. The shot, it rattles in. Allen Iverson, what a sequence here to take the lead. The Philadelphia 76ers now the underdogs in this series are trailing with 50 seconds left. They're driving to the paint. It's not in the hands of Kobe. They finally get it over to the Mamba. Double pump fake. Only one got to beat him versus AI. A tough leaning shot. What a finish by Kobe Bryant. We are witnessing cinema down the stretch of this game. Allen Iverson and Kobe Bryant are battling it out. The inbound steal. Eric Snow off to the races. You have to slow things down here. Do not rush it. The Sixers have an opportunity to extend the lead. 35 seconds remaining. Eric Snow with it. Derek Fisher on him. Lynch, the pull-up 3. It rattles out. The Lakers the rebound. Huge opportunity for LA. Allen Iverson with it. Kobe's back recovering. Allen Iverson, the pump. You have to slow it down, AI. You have to slow it down. You cannot lose the ball here. They get it over to Rick Fox. Fox, get it back in the hands of either AI or Shaq. Kobe Bryant defending Allen Iverson. Iverson's drive draws the foul. Allen Iverson actually split the free throws. I wasn't even paying attention. I assumed he would make them both. So I didn't record it, but 8 seconds left in this game. All tied up. The Philadelphia 76 have a chance to win it here. Kobe to pump over two defenders. Kobe! Kobe Bryant for the win! What a shot! What a shot! Unreal! In one of the biggest upsets in NBA history, the Philadelphia 76ers were defeating a Titan thought to be invincible, meaning Kobe is already doing what AI never could. And even if he doesn't end up with more rings than his rival, just winning this one would be a success all on its own. However, with his level of greatness, something tells me he'll have the chance for many more.
They're moving on to the conference finals, Greg, after a thrilling 7-game series and a win here in round 2.
Except he wouldn't have that chance the following year, as he realizes nothing lasts forever in the NBA, falling short of the repeat to the Nets, who would go on to the finals to face the Lakers, who after being devastated last year were in the process of one of the greatest seasons of all time. Allen Iverson was this year's MVP after averaging over 30 a night. LA had 68 wins on the year, and backed by Shaq's excellence for 16 games straight, they were completing a full sweep of the playoffs without a single loss, winning their second championship in 3 years. And while they may have not pulled off the three-peat in this reality, they were still claiming 2 championships, giving the lead back to the hands of Iverson, creating a far more back-and-forth competition than I anticipated. And the outcome of that competition was completely up in the air, because despite Iverson averaging 33 a night in 2003, the Lakers' iffy depth this season would meet the same fate it did in real life. They'd be falling short of the NBA Finals. In a down-to-the-wire battle with Dallas, they'd come up flat in Game 7, being eliminated from the playoffs, which was still a better outcome than Kobe, whose best teammate had left for New Jersey, ironically meeting each other as opponents come around to the playoffs, where Philly was in fact the favorites to win. Bryant was coming off his 3rd career MVP, which just so happened to be his absolute best season of his career, looking to make a deep run as they go up 2-0 against New Jersey. But Jason Kidd would rally his team back over the next 3 games to reclaim control of the series, and even though Bryant would force a Game 7, it only delayed the inevitable. New Jersey was winning the series to eliminate Kobe again, which was awful timing. Just as he was reaching his peak, the team built around him was falling apart. As over the course of the following 3 seasons, Kobe would continue to put up MVP caliber numbers and even lead Philly to top seeds, but in the end would be losing early in the playoffs to other up-and-coming East teams. But don't count Bryant out just yet, because his best rosters are still ahead of him, eventually making his way to Denver, teaming up with Carmelo Anthony, a duo that will certainly have the opportunity to compete for rings for years. But we'll have to wait to see how that turns out, because for now we go back to 2004, where the Lakers faced the Pistons in the finals. And even though their hopes of a three-peat were non-existent, they still had a chance to win 3 rings total in the early 2000s, with their hopes high as they take a 1-0 lead, carrying over into Game 2, where they'd maintain the lead from the start of the game to the finish, all until the final possessions late. The Pistons would take a timeout with only moments remaining, and Billups was about to stun everybody.
Pistons need a 3, and they have just under 3 seconds to do it. Here's Chauncey Billups. Here it is. He's got it. He's got it. Chauncey Billups.
Just like that, the Pistons would tie the series up, and after a shot like that, there was no looking back, rattling off win after win for games 3 through 5, all until this one was over. Detroit was winning just like they did in real life, which was about to have monumental consequences for the Lakers. Of course, being that Shaq was moving on, joining the Miami Heat, meaning now Iverson was left with a shell of a playoff roster, and it wouldn't be pretty. The additional touches for AI would result in a career high in 2006, but also some major struggles as he deals with more double teams, missing the playoffs every year through 2007, which, speaking of, would pick us back up with Kobe's point of view. Now as a member of the Denver Nuggets, meaning in this reality, instead of Kobe and Melo being rivals, they'd be teammates, and it'd be possibly the scariest duo in the league, combining for almost 60 points a night on their own, concluding the season atop the Western Conference with no signs of slowing down, taking out the Memphis Grizzlies to kick off the postseason, and then being put up to a true test against a talented Mavs team, but winning after only 6 games, before the Western Conference Finals against T-Mac and Yao. But with so much firepower on one roster, it was only a matter of time before the Nuggets would be making an appearance in the finals, where LeBron James awaits, with a questionable Cavs team supporting him. It was undebatable that LeBron was the future of the league, but it wasn't his time just yet. Bryant was still the face of basketball, and after a few years hiatus, he was reminding the world why. Finally winning another championship, rolling right by Cleveland in what has been the most dominant playoff run since AI and Shaq in 2002. And as Kobe ties the ring count up at 2 apiece with Iverson, the Nuggets looked unbeatable, but the league was shaken up yet again. Most notably, the super team formed out in Boston with KG, Pierce, and Allen, who would unsurprisingly be winning the East, preparing for a finals versus whoever makes it out the West. Which brings us to the other big move, Pau Gasol joining Iverson on the Lakers, setting the stage for the rivalry to resume, as Kobe and AI would be face to face in the Western Conference Finals. And if you remember, last time they met led to a heartbreaking moment for AI in Game 7. So now it was obvious that he was playing with a chip on his shoulder, attacking Kobe every opportunity he had, except this aggressiveness may have hurt his team more than it helped, because Denver was playing a much more well-rounded game, operating as an entire team as opposed to Bryant dwelling on a personal rivalry, and as such, they'd reap the benefits going up 3-0 in the series. But come Game 4, with his back against the wall, something would click for Iverson, rallying his group together and executing a flawless 2-man game with Gasol, starting to slowly but surely claw back into the series. And as the Lakers win 2 straight easily, murmurs were rumbling that LA may be able to pull this off, because as we reach the final minutes of Game 6, the Lakers are a few possessions from forcing a Game 7 if they can just simply hang on. Another crucial game between Kobe Bryant and Allen Iverson goes down to the wire. Game 6 of the Western Conference Finals. The Lakers are up by 1 in this game. Download a Kobe, the smaller AI on him. Lakers are no longer up by 1. They're down by 1. LA, though, still with a lot of time left. Allen Iverson can try to reclaim the lead. In the screen from Powell. Iverson in the paint, the double clutch lay. Blows the lay. Carmelo Anthony on the break. J.R. Smith has it now. Derek Fisher trying to draw the charge. JR gets an easy dunk. The Lakers have to fight back. They have a chance to be the first team to come back down 3-0 in a series. Allen Iverson driving in on Kobe. Forces a tough layup over Kobe Bryant. 1-point game now. Huge defensive possession for the Lakers. J.R. Smith with some street ball moves. Kicks out to Carmelo Anthony. They're swinging it around. Martin has it now. Back over to the hands of Melo. Lamar Odom is sticking him. They just pass it back and forth. 5 seconds left. Someone has to pull it. It is J.R. Smith for 3. An unbelievable sequence. Now down by 4. AI gets swatted by Kobe Bryant. Only 40 seconds left. If you don't get a stop here, this entire series could be over. Martin wide open in the paint. It is now a 6-point game for the Lakers. Just seconds ago, they were up by 1. They have not been able to score here down the stretch. Iverson, a layup over Kobe, blows the lay again. And with J.R. Smith at the free throw line, hitting his first free throw, this one, it's pretty much over. For the second time now, Kobe has outlasted AI in a close duel, and he was about to further advance his dominance in their so-called rivalry. Because as Denver goes on to the finals, they'd be up against the Celtics, who many anticipated would be a toss-up for the winner, but shockingly, it was the Nuggets in total control, ending the series without any theatrics, completing the repeat, which of course means for Bryant, he now had 3 rings under his belt, surpassing Iverson in their personal competition. But there was only one issue, being that Iverson would have all the leverage to come back and pass up Bryant. Because after 2008, Kobe would bounce around a couple of teams, the Pistons, the Grizzlies, before closing things out where they all started in Philly, none of which were close to being contenders, meaning by 2011, the Mamba was calling it a career. And while it may not have been as decorated as he would have been in LA, it was still safe to say that he overachieved in Iverson's shoes, cementing himself as an all-time great, even in this alternate reality. But this one isn't over. Iverson still has an opportunity to win more rings than Kobe, as we continue in 2009, where with Kobe out the way, the Lakers would be favorites to come out the West, and they would do just that, which would earn them a bit of a freebie against the Chris Bosh Raptors in the finals, which wouldn't last long. The Lakers were sweeping Toronto to end their Hollywood underdog story, and even though the finals MVP once again missed the hands of Iverson, he'd still be able to say he has won 3 championships, tying everything up with Kobe once again. And considering AI will be playing for another 7 seasons, you may think it's safe to say he had a good chance to win at least one more to pass Kobe, but that wouldn't be the case. Because in just a couple years, the pendulum would shift as the NBA transitions to new up-and-coming talent. New dynasties forming, and with Iverson aging, the Lakers were starting to become a story of the past, failing to make any more deep playoff runs. Except for 2010, where they would make one more run, preparing to face the Celtics in the finals. So it all hinges on this series. Everything is on the line to pass up the Mamba, but it wasn't going to be easy. The Celtics super team was still looking for their first championship in this universe and would be playing hard, battling things out with Iverson. Although the Lakers weren't going to back down either. They understood the stakes in the line and would in turn play just as well. Iverson in particular was averaging nearly 30 points per game, a mark that he hasn't been at for a few years. But in the moment, he'd step up to the occasion. So what would unfold next would be an age-old rivalry between LA and Boston, with both sides capable of coming out on top. But there could only be one, and it all decides if AI and Kobe end in a tie, or if Iverson is able to come out victorious.
The Lakers repeat back-to-back titles. The LA Lakers, the 2010 NBA champions.
It's over. Iverson has finished a repeat and was earning ring 4, meaning he passes up Kobe at the last possible moment in ring counts. But would you consider him as the better player in this reality? You'll have to be the judge of that. But one thing is for sure. Both of these stars left us with legacies to remember for years to come as two of the greatest to ever do it.